Welcome! Today, we are going to master two tiny words that make a massive difference in how natural you sound in English. To and enough. Seriously, getting these right is a total game changer for your fluency.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. A lot of English learners kind of trip over these words, and it's understandable, right? They seem so simple, but if you misuse them, you can completely change your meaning, or, just sound a little bit off.
So let's kick things off with a super common mistake. Have you ever said something like this, thinking you were giving someone a really nice compliment? Now, you're probably trying to say the movie was very good, right? But when you use to here, it actually suggests there's a problem. It kind of implies it was so good it was unbelievable. Or maybe it was so long that it became an issue. For a native speaker, it sounds a little unnatural.
And that's exactly why this stuff matters. Really getting the core meaning of to and enough is the absolute first step to using them correctly and, with confidence.
All right, let's break down our first word, to. And here's something that might surprise you. It almost always has a negative feeling to it. Here is the most important thing to remember. To means more than you want. It's a signal that there's an excess, there's a problem, some kind of negative result. Think of it like a little red flag popping up in your sentence.
Okay, so how is this different from very? This is where a lot of people get confused. Look, saying something is very hot is it's a description, an observation. But saying it's too hot tells you there's a problem. It's so hot I can't drink it. See the difference? That's everything.
So let's move on to its partner, enough. And you'll see how it builds a totally different idea. Enough is all about getting things just right. So if to means more than you need, enough means you have the perfect amount. It's sufficient, it's adequate, it meets the requirement, it's got this positive or at least neutral vibe. And this example just makes it crystal clear. Too young is a barrier. It's a negative thing that stops her from driving. But old enough, that means she meets the condition, it's a green light, she can go. Okay, deep breath. Now for the part that really trips people up. Word order. Where you put these words isn't just a suggestion, it's a rule. And honestly, it's the #1 thing you've got to get right.
The good news is, the rule for to is super simple. It always, and I mean always, comes before the word it's describing.
For example, you say too heavy or too slowly. You would never ever say heavy too. Simple as that. Easy to remember.
But here's the curveball. Enough is a bit of a chameleon. Its position actually changes depending on what kind of word it's hanging out with.
So when you're using enough with an adjective like strong or an adverb like quickly, the word enough always comes after it. It's strong enough, never ever enough strong. But, and this is a big but, if you're talking about a noun, a thing like money or time, the order completely flips. Enough has to come before the noun. So you say enough money or enough time. And hey, here's a quick bonus tip for using to with nouns. Just remember this really simple rule. Use too much for stuff you can't count, like work or traffic, and too many for things you can count, like emails or problems. All right, let's put these rules into practice and see how we can build some full sentences, which a lot of the time are used to explain a reason or result. Probably the most common way you'll see these ideas expanded is by adding an explanation. We usually do this using for someone, or by adding to plus a verb, like to do something. Look here, and you can see how it all comes together perfectly. We combine that core rule, like too heavy or strong enough, and then we add the explanation to create a full, complete thought that makes perfect sense. You're going to start seeing these patterns everywhere, but they are super common in the simple present tense. That's the tense we use to talk about habits, routines, and just facts about the world. For example, she walks too slowly. See? That describes a habit, and it explains the negative result: you can't keep up with her. It all connects. Phew. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's just take a second and boil it all down into a quick recap of the most important takeaways that are going to get you one step closer to fluency. So if you remember anything from today, please let it be this. 1. To means a negative excess. 2. Enough means a positive sufficiency. And 3, the big one, get that word order right. Nail these 3 things and you are golden.
So, the ball's in your court now. Think about it. How are you going to take what you've learned and actually apply it in a conversation today? Because at the end of the day, practice is what turns knowing this stuff into a real skill.